G'day everyone, welcome to Adventure Rider. For those of you who are new to the channel, thanks for having a look at the video, and for those who are returning again, thank you very much for your support. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to a demo day at Empire Harley Davidson in Kangaroo Flat, and I'll take some footage. I'm keen to ride one of the bikes and just do a bit of an initial review of what it's like. So probably one of the soft tails. I think they've got the Road Glide, the Street Glide, the Lowrider ST, and I think there's a X500 or something they've got on demo. So I might actually look at the ST, the Lowrider. I'm really curious in that bike. I haven't ridden one, and if I'm allowed, I'll take one out for a ride. So yeah, so that's what we're doing today. Hopefully you stay on the video. If you do like the video, again, please click the like button, so it helps get the video out to more people, and also it'd mean the world to me if you would consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, of course. So without any further ado, the next video clip will be me at the Empire Harley Davidson ship having a look around. Alright, see you soon. Okay, I'm back on. Hopefully you can hear me. Here we have the Lowrider ST, which I'm going to take for just a quick ride. And like I said, Harry's excellent, mate, the manager here, if you want to come down for test rides. And yeah, so I've never ridden this. The only Harley I've ridden was a Pan America, which I did a quick initial review on, but really keen to ride this Lowrider S. I was going to ride the Ryder S, but the ST was the bigger back wing up the front, and this has got the 117 motor. So I was talking to Harry and he said there's not a real big difference between the 114 and the 117, but I think clearly you can do a bit more or get a bit more out of it if you start upgrading the motor and stage, 3 and 4 and all that sort of stuff. So alright, so let's sit on it. We'll see what it feels like. Okay, oh geez, a lot lighter than my bike. You can see your speedo, or I hope this camera's in the right position. Obviously you speed up the top odometer, and it does have a lot of, when I first looked at this gauge I thought, oh, it's got nothing on it, but you've actually got a lot of lights down here, warning lights and those sorts of things. And the interesting thing for me is I've never ridden a bike where you've got an indicator on both sides of the one for the, obviously the left and right. As far as sitting position is, my arms are pretty stretched out. I mean, I'm 6 foot, not uncomfortable, just a nice comfort. Probably a little bit more forward than my bike, which is a different bike altogether, the BMW R18B, the bagger, which will pass as we go. So alright, let's get it off the stand. Alright, let's see if we can get her in gear. Alright. Oh yeah, like the already I know it's a stock exhaust, but yeah, I like the sound of it. I'll give you a stop here, I suppose. Oh, brakes are pretty good, the front brakes. Better than on my bike. Wow, plenty of bloody torque. Oh, geez, so nimble and agile. Gee, I really love that torque, and even though this is a stock exhaust, it's got a nice note to it. I could imagine it'd bloody sound awesome with a stage 1 or some aftermarket pipes. Oh, the brakes are front brakes are really good. Excellent front brake. Excellent. You can really feel that torque kicking in. Yeah, just a real lot of good torque. Comes on very early too. I'm only just advancing the throttle slightly. I'm in second gear, but I turn that indicator off. And if I give it a bit of a, yeah, this thing goes without a doubt. So yeah, my initial thoughts, very torquey. Great response out of this 117 motor, and also the sound of it. Now it's funny, as we all do, we get on YouTube and we look at people's reviews of bikes and that sort of stuff, and you know, 9 times out of 10 you listen to people and, you know, with a stock exhaust, and it always sounds pretty quiet, but this thing, it actually sounds really nice in a stock exhaust. Like I said, I could bloody imagine what it'd be like. Oh, it really wants to pull. Yeah, it really wants to pull. Now I'm in third, doing what, 64. See if we get up to a bit of a bigger speed. A lot of room here. It looks sort of fairly more forward than I thought. Oh yeah, this thing's amazing in terms of its torque. Yeah, get it out on cornering. God, you don't feel any weight at all. I mean, mind you, my bike's over 400 kilos. Got to get used to these indicators, having one on each side. Something you get pretty used to. This one's got cruise control. Now I'm not sure whether, you know, the base, this might be the base model and it might have cruise control, I don't know. Mirrors, yeah, mirrors are pretty good. I can see a bit of my shoulder, although I haven't really adjusted them a lot. Oh no, they're not bad. Now I don't know the horsepower, and I know with Harleys it's not always about the horsepower, and I agree, I think it's always about the torque. And, you know, horsepower's for your upper end, but I don't know what the figures are. I'll throw them up on the screen now in terms of horsepower and torque. But you open this up and it just wants to go. Unbelievable. But so far, I mean, the only thing for me is I'm 6 foot, is I am getting a bit of buffeting on my helmet. But that's, you know, it's got a lower fairing in the front. But you know what? You ride one of these, you don't really care about the buffeting, you just have fun. Initial thoughts, comfortable. My seats, it's got a good little back support, you know, for your backside. So you sort of feel like you got support at the back, so you're sitting in the seat to some degree. It's pretty comfortable. It's got a fair bit of padding. Yeah, it's. I haven't cycled through the modes, but I'm tipping. I won't sort of muck around with it too much on the go, but I'm tipping it's got be able to cycle through, you know, from the odometer probably to revs and all that sort of stuff. But as you can see, the controls are sort of mid controls, which is what I'm used to. Having said that, I'd love to have it take out a bike, one of their bikes with a forward controls, just to sort of see what the feeling is. Really nimble, like you can just sit neutrally and throw it around. Yeah, I'd hesitate to say it's probably the bike that I've ridden with what feels like the most torque and power. And you know, and I can only compare it to mine, which is a different bike, BMW. Mine's a lot heavier, not as nimble as this, and certainly doesn't have the torque of this bike. It's really noticeable. I don't know if I mentioned before about the weight. I said I'd put the horsepower and torque figures on. I'll throw the weight up on the screen of this bike wet. I'd hazard a guess it's probably 300 kilos maybe, or thereabouts, maybe a bit over. So I can definitely notice the difference between this and my bike in terms of its lightness. Oh, front brake, really good. I know I've said it before, but it's probably really standout for this bike. Rear brake, yeah, rear brake's okay. Nothing to write home about, but the front brake, which is where you really sort of do most of your road braking. So your friction zone is definitely I better slow down. Oh, it's 100 zone here. This thing does not leave you wanting for power. Geez, for me, if I was looking at a Harley, and again, I haven't ridden the others, so I really probably shouldn't make this comment, but I'd want something with the power of this. I reckon the only problem for me is I'd probably cop a few speeding tickets, because it really makes you want to open the throttle up. So I'm sitting in 4th gear, and this thing's just purring along, doing 85, 90, whatever. Yeah, it's yeah, really nice. I'll try that back brake again. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the back brakes, it does the job, but it's nothing to write home about. But this front brake. Hang on, I'm going to run bloody side. This front brake. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Really good. For anyone out there who's thinking of riding or is interested in the Lowrider S or the ST, absolutely go and test ride one. Really nimble to turn a corner on this thing. I mean, I'll take it easy, but I'm not even really having to lean it. It's just tips in. It wants to tip in. Yeah, so what else can we talk about? Suspension, I'm not sure exactly if it's a particular type brand or not, but the ride, like these roads have got a lot of ruts in it, but it's really quite comfortable. Like, I'm just trying to compare it. It would be every bit as comfortable as my BMW bagger. If anything, the rear suspension feels a bit better. I don't know what suspension it's got, but yeah, no, lovely, really nice. And to be honest, it's got everything you need: gear indicator, speedo. You know, you get your. What more do you need on a bike, really? So I'll settle it. I'm in 4th gear. I'll back off, let's back off to say 70, and then I'll open up a bit just to see how it goes in terms of being in a relatively high gear. Right, we're nearly at 70. Oh, absolutely beautiful. God, I could keep riding this thing all day. Now, like I said, really flickable, even sitting neutrally on the bike without having to lean. Yeah, and it's very linear. There is no real, you know, on some bikes how you get a bit of a gap, no throttle, and all of a sudden it's all on. This is very smooth. Just the fueling on it's really, really good. Now, I've heard a lot of comments of people say these Milwaukee 8 motors are a real big difference to the previous, I think the twin cams and those sorts of things. I haven't ridden those, so I can't make a comment on that. But this motor is really, really a smooth delivery of torque. Oh, there you are, pushing it in, turns it on, set. Yep, set's pushing it down. I wasn't going to say I use it, but I am. Oh yeah, lovely. Yep, just like any cruise control, push it in to take it off. Really easy, you know, in, down to set, up to resume, and obviously I'd imagine, yeah, it's got its ability to increase and decrease your speed. I think I said this on my Pan America sort of initial review. Until you ride them, you really you can't sort of make comment on them. You can do walkarounds and all that, but you've got to get on the bike. Yeah, nice gap with the gear shifter. I've got just a normal boot on. Sits nice and over. The problem with my bike is, and I've tried to adjust it, and it is a problem with the 18Bs, is the gear lever. Unless I've altered mine up, but to actually change down a gear, you've got to lift your foot and stamp on it, because you can't pivot, and because it's got a floorboard, it's a little bit more difficult. But this, really easy to change gears. Now what I'll do is I'll just pull over here. We'll do a quick walk around while the bike's on. Okay, so that's a bit of a better look from it without bikes next to it. Hopefully my camera's in the right position. Really nice looking bike. I wasn't quite sure about the fairing when I've seen it on YouTube and on videos and all that. I thought, oh, not 100% about that, but looking at it in person now, particularly with that darkened screen, the blacked out screen, and the headlight's pretty simple, but I'm sure it's effective. I don't think the indicators are LED, I think they're bulb. Certainly an LED front light, and I think the rear, yeah, they're bulbs, which is not an issue. LED brake light. I just don't know why they didn't throw, and I know you can get aftermarket ones and all that through Harley, and I just don't know why they didn't put them on originally. I think this day and age you would think you'd get LED all round, including the headlights. Stock exhaust, I don't know if you can hear it very well. It's got a nice little rumble to it. If I give it a bit of a rev, yeah, for a stock exhaust, nice. But of course, if you were to get one of these, as most people do, you'd rip that off and get a set of aftermarket pipes for a stage 1 with that, for sure, to bring out that note. But yeah, so obviously the rear hard cases, you got a lever here. Side cases, yeah, enough room, you know, nothing to rave home about, but then these bikes aren't designed to tour for hours on end, although you could easily. Same on the other side. So yeah, that's obviously differentiates this between just the Lowrider S, is that it does have the hard rear cases, and it does come with the hard bat wing, whereas the Lowrider S only just has a very small cowling around the front light. And to be honest, I've seen the Lowrider S and people take that little cowling off, and I think it looks great with just the headlight. That's just personal opinion. So there, yeah, alloy, like a bronze type alloy colour. Harley Davidson front brakes, dual disc, which is good, and I think that's probably why, although most bikes are dual disc, but the brakes exceptional on the front, really good. The back, like most, has got I think it's got a single, yeah, just a single rear disc with probably a 2-piston caliper, although I can't really see it. I think if I have a look around here, yeah, I think it's a dual piston caliper and 2 jewels up the front. Really like it, and I know everyone gets black bikes and they go, another black bike, but it really looks nice in black, and I really like the blacked out engine components. Really good. Alright, there's the seat. Like I said, you know, nothing to rave home about, but for me it's got really good padding, and this is the bit that makes you feel really tucked in. Now on my bike I've had to go out and buy one of those little driver backrest seats because I got a really bad lower back, and it keeps me upright. It's actually quite comfortable. Again, a lot of people change out the seat, get something different, and they're very, as you all know, Harley Davidsons, they're very customisable. I'm just making sure my, sorry, bear with me here. Yeah, we're still going. Yeah, very customisable, and that's the beauty of them. You can really individualise and make them your own, you know, do all your motor upgrades and, you know, handlebars, but, you know, diff bar, well, they're pretty high bar riser as they are original, but you could put, you know, your AP type bars on, I'm assuming. Like I said, just having a look, and I hope you can see this, fuel gauge, yeah, fuel gauge, haven't got my glasses on, I'm assuming that's it. Speedo, odometer there, it's only done 87 k's, all of your different, you know, warning lights and indicators, so when you're using them, and I'll just throw this one on, see it there, and click it again to cancel. That's something I'm not used to, because I'm just used to having one on this side, but I reckon you get used to this pretty quick and it'd be bloody handy. Obviously your high, low beams, horn, and I'm assuming, there you go, this one at the top here, this circle goes through, no, it's not revs, trip A, I think, trip B, revs, no, not it, clock, oh here we go, RPM, there you go, she comes on, so it's sitting on about 900, 880, 900 at idle. There you go, so you do have your RPM, and then it circles back, I think that's trip A, B, oh that'll be remaining fuel, I'm assuming the R when it comes in, and I'll just cycle through, 171 k's, so I'm assuming that's R for remaining fuel, correct me if I'm wrong, I'll have a look, clock, RPM, and then back to main odometer. Yeah, so it's got everything you really need, and it's interesting because I actually thought, it's going to have not much there, you're not going to be able to see it. You can see it, I've got not the best eyesight, and I could see it, gear and fuel and all that, so definitely got what you need. Yeah, really, you know, on just the first initial impressions, really impressed, and I think the thing that really impresses me is the torque of the motor, how smooth it is, and power delivery. Really addictive. It really wants to make you open it up, which, like I said, light. Now I've just picked it up off a bit of a downward camber, which is normally gives you a bit more weight. It's actually not heavy, or it doesn't feel heavy at all. So let's get the kickstand up. Kickstand's got one of those little side boot ones, which is really good because it does tuck up quite far up under the motor there. Alright, let's get it back to Harley Davidson. All motorbikes are fantastic. This really makes you want to ride a lot more. Yeah. Initial impressions for this video: great torque, great power delivery, nimble, and really good front brake. Now I wasn't expecting to say that about Harley Davidson. Now that's probably just, again, this is just because it's a preconceived idea, never having ridden one, that the brakes wouldn't be as, you know, good as say your Japanese bikes, but it is. It's actually really, really good. Yeah, nice clutch. It just, once you get used to it, I think originally it felt a bit, oh shit, you know, letting it out, but it's just clutch control. And already having this little short ride, it's already, you adjust to it. Yeah, so no, really impressed. I don't know what size tank it is. I'll throw that up on the screen. How many litres? Yeah, I'd love to hear one of these with a better exhaust, or a stage 1 or 2 or something like that. Bring out. You really need to do that with these motors, I reckon. You just got to let them breathe. And but as you can see, air cleaner. I didn't know what that material was, but it's actually like a fine mesh metal. I thought it might have been. It's, again, I looked online. It looks like some sort of, you know, not hard but soft. You'll be able to sort of push it in, but it's actually more firmer than you think. It looks good too. Well, I hope you're getting something out of this video. Again, it's just an initial first impressions. Again, until you ride them, you don't know. Yeah, it's nice clutch, now that I'm getting used to it. Yeah, you'll be able to easily manage this in heavy traffic once you get used to that clutch and brake. But I reckon a bike like this is really designed to sort of get the most out of it, build the motor up and just tear around town. Yeah, so there you go. That's just my first thoughts on it. Lovely bike. I'd love to ride it all day. Unfortunately I can't. Yeah, nah, beautiful. She's a ripper. Alright, so there you go. I'm a bit close to the other bike here. Yeah, so there you go. That's the Harley Lowrider ST. Really, really nice bike. Main points: beautiful smooth delivery of power, and power it is, and torque. So yes, all those comments about people saying the Milwaukee 8 motor is really nice and smooth and a great motor, absolutely agree. Alright, well hopefully you got a bit out of that. If you did, please click the like button. It just gets things out there, that's all. Helps with the algorithm to get other people to have a look, those who might be interested in a bike such as this, or another Harley. Okay, so back on my bike. Yeah, definitely noticed the weight a bit more. Yeah, so final thoughts. Okay, well firstly, thank you to Empire Harley Davidson up here in Kangaroo Flat, Victoria. If you're in central Victoria anywhere and you're even thinking about Harley Davidson or some merchandise, clothing, etc., you're really going to come and check the place out. Really good. I don't know how it would go riding it for several hours. I dare say it's not going to be as comfortable as a proper tourer, you know, like your road glide or your street glide and those sorts of things. But then again, it's not expressly designed to be a tourer. It's got cases on the back, but you know, that's just handy if you do want to do a bit of short touring here and there, an overnighter maybe. Definitely do it for sure. The wind buffeting, yeah, look, you do get a bit of wind buffeting. Again, I'm 6 foot, but then again, surprisingly, it probably threw a lot of air away from my chest and lower hips, and this bike did that to me. And that's why I've got, if you can see down here, that's why I've got the clear wind deflectors, because I found even with this bat wing, whatever, I was getting hit on the bottom of the hip and the guts quite a bit. But I didn't really notice that with the Lowrider. So obviously it's got the design is quite good for that lower, but of course, yeah, I mean, I mean, even with this larger screen I put on, I still get wind, but it sort of hits over the top of my helmet as opposed to straight in your face. But yeah, so yeah, alright, wind protection not the best, but rear brake was average. But most rear brakes are, you know, you're not going to emergency brake just on your bloody rear brake. You only really use it for slow manoeuvring and or on loose surfaces or going down, even not even going down a hill. But this bike you've got to slow down a bit more for the cornering, particularly if you're going to take it really quick or a really tight corner. Whereas I reckon that bike you could almost throw it around like a sports bike, to be honest. It has a fair bit of ground clearance. Yeah, so really really impressed. So if you're thinking about that bike, please go into a dealership, sit on it at least, and if possible definitely take it for a test ride. I don't think you'd be disappointed if that's the sort of bike you're already looking at. Anyhow, thank you very much for everybody tuning in, especially for those return viewers or subscribers. I really appreciate it. And of course, it would mean the world to me if you would subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out, and at the very least, even if you don't do that, just if you like the video, please click the like button. It just helps get it out there and maybe help those who are looking at the bike. Other than that, thank you once again for tuning into Adventure Rider. As I always say, everybody take care, ride safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.